So one of the most popular type of vehicle on the road today is the 3-row SUV. But weirdly enough, it's been super difficult to find one that's all electric and affordable. The Rivian R1S and the Tesla Model X both sell for over $80,000. That's not affordable. And the Tesla Model Y has an optional 3rd row, but it's super tiny. So where are all the decently sized, decently priced, all-electric 3-row family haulers? Well, here's one, the Kia EV9. Starting price $54,900. It's big, it's boxy, it's blue. The electric 3-row SUV has arrived. Let's get into it. So the first thing you notice about the EV9 is its hugeness. This is a big boy. The Kia logo is gigantic. The lights are double stacked. The entire face of the vehicle is just broad. It's roughly the same dimensions as the Kia Telluride, which is its most popular model, but in fact, it's actually a couple inches longer. It's 197 inches long, 70 inches tall, 77 inches wide. It's one of the biggest electric vehicles to come out so far. But the EV9's secret weapon is the wheelbase. Because there's no engine, the wheels are actually farther apart than usual, which creates a much roomier interior. With 42 inches of rear legroom, the EV9 tops the Cadillac Escalade, Range Rover P400, and Mercedes EQS. And there's more shoulder room and legroom than the Tesla Model X. I have never driven an electric vehicle this big before, and if you know me, you know I have a problem with big SUVs. Statistically, they're more dangerous than smaller cars, they cost too much money, and they're less efficient than smaller vehicles. They also carry around a lot of extra battery weight. The EV9's battery alone weighs over 1,000 pounds. I'm not trying to nitpick, just something to consider if you're thinking about an EV. But the fact that no one has gone after the full-size SUV with an EV before is just so strange to me. The Toyota Highlander, the Honda Pilot, the Chevy Tahoe, these are very popular vehicles. That makes the EV9 the first mainstream 3-row electric SUV to hit the market. And that's a big deal. Let's talk pricing. The base model starts at around $55,000, which is not cheap, but it's not luxury either. It's certainly less expensive than some other EVs, but way more expensive than gas equivalents like the Kia's own Telluride. This model is the top of the line, dual motor, all-wheel drive GT line, which starts at $73,000. But most EV9s will probably fall somewhere in the middle $60,000 range. The EV9 is not eligible for the $7,500 federal EV tax credit, but it is available for lessees. Kia has said that it's moving EV9 production to the US, so it could qualify at some point in the future. But the price could be an obstacle. As I'm sure you've noticed, EV demand is in a weird place right now. The early adopters have adopted. We're in this more price-conscious phase where people are just sort of shopping around for the right deal. The EV9 could help a lot of families convert from gas to electric, but the price could actually convince a lot of others to just wait it out. But you know what? Forget all that. Let's drive. So the EV9 has about 300 miles of range, or around 440 kilometers. And that's thanks to the 99 kilowatt hour battery pack that's in the floor of the vehicle. This one gets about 379 horsepower and about 515 pound-feet of torque. And of course, it's quick. It's got that instant electric acceleration that you would expect. So it drives great. You know, it's big, but it doesn't feel big when you're driving it. And I think that's thanks to the short overhangs, which give you better visibility of the road. You know, you're up high, but you're not up too high. I don't feel like I'm towering over the road like I do in some SUVs. The start button is on the gear sock, which also has a twisty end for your gear selector, and then parking is at the end. There's one long piece of glass for all of your touchscreens. There's a 5-inch instrument cluster, small section here for HVAC, and then you got your 12.3-inch central display. It's got wireless CarPlay and Android Auto. The rear seats are spacious and comfortable. I'm 6'1". I feel like I fit in here pretty nicely. The seats all have power folding. There's a cool fold-out center tray. There's USB-C ports all over the place. Everything feels very premium and nice and not cheap or plasticky. Then there's this line of buttons in the center dash. I'm not the biggest fan of haptic feedback. I think it looks better than it actually feels, and even then, you have to take your eyes away from the road to see where your finger's jabbing. The two-tone leather seats are heated and ventilated. There's a built-in massage function for those long trips, but that's only available on the top-of-the-line model. And the rear seats fold down for extra storage. You've got extra storage under the trunk for storing various equipment. The handles are retractable. They'll come out when you unlock the vehicle, or if you have the fob in your pocket, they'll just come out automatically. It's got a frunk. It's not huge, but it's big enough for a backpack. The efficiency is pretty good for a vehicle of this size. I'm getting about 2.1 kilowatt hours per mile, and thanks to the 800-volt system, charging is gonna be a breeze. When you're hooked up to a DC fast charger, you can go from 10 to 80% in about 24 minutes. So there's a lot of weird design elements on this SUV, like these running lights that are kind of in these weird L shapes. And the headlights and the taillights both make these kind of like bizarre zigzag shapes. I've never really seen anything like that before. And the wheels are these 4-spoke wheels, which is really just unusual. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before either. Now, I don't have a crystal ball, but the EV9 seems like it's gonna be a real winner for Kia. I mean, just anecdotally from talking to the parents in my town, they've been waiting for a car like this to come around to help them make the switch from gas to electric. And Kia could really use a winner. The brand's reputation has taken a major hit after a bunch of car thieves have been stealing a lot of older models thanks to a design flaw. Would I get an EV9? Definitely not. It's too big and too expensive for my family. But if I had a few extra kids and a little bit more money, I could see this big boxy SUV working for me. It works.